not opening so the chicks can't get out. But Mum has come out. Look how big the chicks are. Not getting too close because she's a feisty mum, and she's okay when she's with them, but with that little bit of distance, she's on high alert. Oh, and by the way, do you remember? I don't know if it actually made it into one of the videos, but we could see a few stones around this edge, and I was thinking, oh, I wonder what that is. I must dig it out or have a look. Where the chickens have scratched this bit bare, and you can see that it was a circle, I think flower bed. I think they've edged the stones to make a bed in the lawn here. Isn't that cute? I shall keep that. But yes, made it much easier to see when the chickens scratched it back for me. Good job, chickens. They've actually done a great job at keeping this weed free. You can see over here how it greened up really quick. The chickens have been in here and they've been doing a great job. And I think when this dies down over the winter, goodness knows what we will find. Well, I made a short explaining about the windows. It has actually turned out to be such a blessing. So we needed the front windows in. This little guy, Noel, is making those. Lovely gentleman, makes these sash windows from scratch in his garage. Very, very, very skilled person. And he started those windows because he wanted a final measurement, and we didn't know what we were doing with the windowsills, but then remember I went to see the lovely John, and then I knew what I was doing with the windows. Anyway, the windows have started. It's going to push us back that we won't be able to plaster until spring on the outside. It was very, oh no. And then it turned out to be, oh yes, because one, I'm still working out how to pay for the plastering on the outside. So yeah, it gives me a few more months to save that up. Two, it means we can work on the inside because we put perspex over these frames. So we have, you know, a reasonable temperature inside. There today it's 16 degrees. So just takes a wee bit of the wind chill out. And the back windows can go in, the glass can go in, those are ready. And then we can work on the inside, and then we can put the front windows on, and then we'll plaster in spring, and it's going to be fine. What's that noise? Are you up? Pixie's upstairs. I thought it was a giant rat. Pixie. Okay. Let me show you what happened when I wasn't looking. So I've had a couple of Saturdays away from the cottage actually, because the Saturday that Philly was here and built this little wall, remember it was there in the red brick? We took the red brick down because we're going to use it for the fireplace, and then Philly made this one. That Saturday I was managing a market in our National Trust property, which is Spring Hill, and it was fab. It was really good. Guess what? I met someone I know, lovely gentleman, and turns out he had been one of the early bidders on the cottage, and he's been watching the videos. Hello, if you're watching this one. And wished us well with it, which is lovely. But he would have also been a perfect person for the cottage, because he would have been doing the renovation to live in it as well. He wasn't a knock it down person. He's not a knock it down person. He spends an incredible amount of time and energy in local historical buildings, so he would have been also a great person for it. Oh, and someone else who watches the videos came up and said hello, and that was really I find that surreal. I just think that's awesome when people say, oh, you've seen the cottage, and I love it. Anyway, so that was one of the Saturdays that happened. Then I had to go to Spain for work, and Jenny came with me, and then we took a couple of days in Barcelona. So I did a Saturday on the beach, and Dee was here. He put the perspex in the frames for that. And then fast forward to this week when it was super sunny, but I had so much work to catch up on from being off. And then the garden just needed some attention, and there's just loads of things to do at home. But I'm here. But I'm not here. Because if anybody knows the video that shows the pool and that follows us on the Instagram page, there's a little shop that I get so many of these antiques from, and it's called Apple and Salt, and they're moving. So I literally got a text about an hour and a half ago to say that there's a sale that starts today. So I said to Dee, should we just go up to the north coast in Ragnar, the camper van, and see if there's any bits and pieces for the cottage? Because our house is full of furniture that we've already bought for the cottage. There's a dresser, there's a Edwardian chair, there's the iron bed, there's the sink, there's the washstand. It was already here. What else is up there? There's a dressing table and a mirror, and there's cutlery and brass candlesticks and little Delft dogs and brass coffee grinders. And at the market there's a lady and she lives just up the road, and it's Rabbit Burrow Antiques. You know what I'm like with names, but there's a rabbit and there's Burrow and there's antiques. Anyway, she's literally up the road around the corner. She was at the market, and I bought this beautiful blue and white Delft bowl with the jug that sits in it, that would have been for the washstand. I'm going to put that in the library because the library's going to have like a single bed in it. Oh, I bought a cast iron umbrella stand holder. It might be too big for here, but it would be stunning in that hall if I can fit it in. Anyway, I'm going to do a little bit in the cottage, and then Dee has never been in No, we did have a night away in it. No, I'm telling a fib, he did have a night away in it. Him and I have never been away in it on our own, so we might take a wee sneaky night up. But I'll take you with me and show you all the stuff, because most of it's vintage. What do you call that when you go and buy vintage things? A thrifting. You want to come thrifting? Show you what I get. So I've got an hour. I'm going to show you what's happening here. I'm going to do a little bit of raking out because I have other news about that. But anyway, let's have a look at this. So this is going to be into the ensuite. We know that. This is just going to be a little cupboard. Little walk-in closet. Not very big, but enough that we get hanging space along this wall. But the plan is I'm going to look for an old vintage wardrobe, a very vernacular one, not Edwardian if I have to do an Edwardian gentleman's wardrobe, but I prefer a vernacular cupboard, like really simple style. And then I'm going to have that's your entrance in. There is one in the utility room, but I think it is too damaged. But the plan is that the vernacular wardrobe, I love that word, would sit here, and you'd walk into the closet through the wardrobe. Little nod to C.S. Lewis there, I mean, where possible, could add these in. I think this one is too far gone. If this one is salvageable, I need to take it out of here and start salvaging it. I'll show you. Can you see? Isn't that amazing? Did you know that was in here? I don't think I've shown you that. Have I shown you that? Way back in the early videos. In the original video in here, this would have been the old creamery, because we've got this spring mounted hook here. Oh, can you see? Oh, I'm sorry, this space is tight. So I know this was the creamery because this is an old spring, and this would have had something at the end that would have helped you churn your milk. Anyway, I do digress. In the earlier video of this is the creamery, this was on its side, and this was like flopped open, and you could stand on this. So it is in pretty dire shape. Like it really is. Hold on. That's all I have left of the door into the creamery. But look at that. I'm going to try and save that handle. So I just saved that part of the door. Right. I really want to show you this. So you've got your 4 panels at the bottom, broad bit, 3 panels at the top in a different configuration. You've got 3 hinges. It's just all boarded and filled, and I think these actually, I don't know if they were separated because they're kind of screwed in together at the back. But it was a wardrobe. But if I can keep any of this and then create a new frame, this could be, I can't even pretend to go into that because of the, you know what. Okay. But what do you think? The key's missing, but I could get a new lock for that. I freaking love it. Listen, that's the plan. That's going to be, if I can save that, that's going to be the entranceway into the dressing room, which will actually be in here. So a beautiful window would just be over there. So that happened. I digress. What else do I want to show you? So all along here, oh yeah, hold on. This is where we thought of putting the stained glass window. I don't know if it's wide enough. The window's quite wide. I don't actually think it would fit there, which is a real shame because that's actually where I wanted to put it. Hey ho. With a window of sort. I can't tell you how much warmer in here is with just that on. Oh right, yes. I've remembered the thing I wanted to tell you. I wanted to tell you something about this room because tomorrow, now I promise tomorrow, I'm going to make something that we can eat here in the tea room. I'll bring the Ragnar, the camper van up. We're going to work so hard tomorrow to make up for me whisking David away for a night in the camper van. I'm going to work so hard tomorrow, right? Because Daniel, I think, is going to come and do some work on the inside. He's finishing up a little job. He's our plastering team. And then he said he'd come here and do a good push on the inside so that I can move forward with measuring for the kitchen, starting to put down some floorings, all those sorts of things. So because the outside has a scud coat, we can actually start working on the inside, which is really great. But the other thing I wanted to tell you is I am going on an interior design trip. It's in Italy. It's in Turin in Italy, which I've never been. It's with Kate Smith. She does a podcast called mad about the house. And she works with Sophie Robinson. And actually a couple of years ago we had went on an Italian design trip there with both of those ladies. I met some really lovely people. Some of them are going on this trip, and that's on a couple of weeks. That's in October. So we are going to Kate's house. It's an older villa that she has renovated. We're going there. We're going to be going around the markets. So I'm bringing an empty suitcase. We are doing colour patterns, drenching, pattern on pattern. Oh, just lots of things. But she very kindly has said, if you bring photos and dimensions of a room that you're working on, that she would give some design advice. Kind of like a sounding board to what ideas you already had. So this is the room, the parlour. That's the room I'm going to bring with me on the design course. I'm going to ask them if it's okay, but I'm going to take you with me, if I'm allowed, just to film a couple of bits and pieces, because I think it would be so cool. And if we're not allowed, I'll like sneak a little bit, because her stuff is awesome, really awesome. Now, my biggest question for the design group, this is what I'm thinking about, you see, because do you remember watching the video where I cut out the cardboard sofa because I wanted to see if that would fit, because ideally I really want to keep that Edwardian dining table in here, in this space by the window, and then have, you all right, Pixie, and have the sofa over here and the fireplace there, TV there. But in my heart of heart, I know that is squashy. And I know it does not look pleasing on the eye. But I still really want the table in. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that with us. And if Kate says it doesn't work, I would 100% believe Kate. But if Kate says, yeah, no, why didn't you just turn it this way or put that in, or you need it, 2 tiny sofas, not one big giant sofa, and then boom, it's perfect. That just might be what we need. But the other thing I want to ask is, do we keep this ceiling? It's not terribly old. I think that's 60s, 70s. Maybe they put that up in the 80s when they put the roof on. But I think it is a good country style. I think it is of the time. I think there's nothing wrong with it. I don't see any woodworm in that. And we've checked the top and the bottom. And if I show you here where we've taken the plaster off, the plaster came right out to here. Look, that wood is 100%. What's the point in doing anything with that? I say no woodworm holes. There's a couple. I have sprayed it. I'm going to spray it again. But the thing is, I would have to sand that off. And then I would paint it with the linseed paint, probably, in a nice soft white. It'd be so stunning. But I'm also tempted to take it all down and just put nice new ones up. And then I don't have to sand over the top of my head. Because that piece there is quite damp and damaged, do you see? And it has woodworm. And if I have to replace any of the sheets, then there's no point. Oh, look at the edges. Oh, I think I have to take it down. I think I have to take it down, don't I? It's not old wood, so I'm not sad about losing. I'm not sad about losing it because it's old, but it's just something. I like gentle refurbs. I like keeping what you can, only change it if you have to. I mean, I know I have seen some absolutely stunning homes online on YouTube where you do the tour of people's houses, and it's an old house and they just put this really super fabulous modern house inside. I think they are amazing. They are beautiful and they must be so gorgeous to live in. But also I have seen tours of homes, and it's these little cottages and everything is quirky and offset and old and has a story, and I just think it's amazing that that has stayed for so long, and each person that's lived with it has left it and let it be, and I love that, and I want that to be the case here as much as possible. So for instance, I'm not taking out this wooden beam. And if possible, I'm going to plaster down and let that show, because that's amazing. And I don't want to be the one that takes that out of this house when that's been here for 200 years. I don't want to be that person. And so if there's nothing wrong with it and Jenny can live with that, I want that to stay. That's just my opinion. And so if I could have kept the ceiling and there was nothing wrong with it, then I think that's the right thing to do. You let it be. I would have insulated on top. But actually, I think I need to take it down and replace it. Which is a pain. But on the plus, I won't have to sand it because I can prime the boards before I put them up. So that's good, yeah. A little bit of rebuilding here. I'm absolutely stuck with what's happening with this fireplace because we're putting a stove in and the stove is going to sit out. So then do you just put the ordinary fireplace back in because the stove will sit out into the room? I don't know. I think I need to talk to the stove guy. Either way, we need to get something done with that. I also need to have a think about where I'm putting things. So if I'm putting the picture rail back up, I need to keep these little wooden pegs. Well, I want a nice big thick curtain on this window, because remember the windows we're putting in are heritage like for like, so they're single glazed. And actually there are some studies that for the price, they don't think you get enough feedback for double glazed windows. And they think you could get the same energy savings just by using, good thick curtains. So that's what I want to do in this room, but I need to plan, and at the minute we have this piece of wood, which is great. But I need, if I want to be able to pull the curtain right back to get maximum light, I need to have some kind of wooden peg over here. So I need to plan to do that before Daniel does his. And I need to take the ceiling down. That's fantastic. I put a thing on Instagram today, and do you watch Early Trim Life? Do you watch that YouTube channel? And we're organising, I just said there, we're going to organise a little meetup, just fab. I love the YouTube cottager community. I don't know if like all gamer communities are the same or all gardening video communities are the same. But do you see the cottager community? I never met a nicer bunch of strangers in all my days. They're so nice. So yeah, Early Trim Life. We're going to arrange a meetup. How cool. We're going to have a meetup. Oh, look what I brought in. This is just a catch-up of all these things that I've been thinking on because I had to work out for my door. Let me show you. So again, when the door comes in, I got to put in a wooden post, 100 mil down, 100 mil up, and 2 even points in between. But I needed to bring in my floor so that I could work that out. These are the tiles that we picked up from this floor, and they'll go back down again. Aren't they gorgeous? And I'm hoping they don't need a massive bed of mortar, but these all need cleaning. That's going to be our kitchen floor. Like, it's not a... Look at me showing you the head height and you're on the floor. Goodness me. My head is just 100 miles an hour. Someone said, do you think I have ADHD? Do you think? I don't know. It's actually Scott from the gym. Anyway, look at that. That's going to be our head height when we've got the floor in. Anybody taller than me is going to have to duck. So, yeah, as I was explaining in the video, we are taking a detour. We're going to go and see what's in the We Are Moving sale at Apple and Salt. And I'm in a Passenger Princess today. She just finished up work. It was very quick. In and out. He just said he didn't even take his jammies because we're going to stay in Ragnar tonight. And I booked a little campsite up on the north coast, right on the sea. And I booked us dinner. Very last minute, but very lovely. What do you think, James? I keep him on his toes. But yes, I'll show you what we buy. If anything, maybe I won't buy anything. Maybe there's the first time. But I'll show you what's in the shop. Okay. Dee is currently hooking us up to the electric so we can have a nice hot shower. We're in the campsite. I'm going to show you the sea. We have a sea view out the back. It should be working yet. I'm going to check for, yeah, you're not running off the battery. That is a lovely chair that I bought. Look at the length of the back. I'm going to show you that in a minute. I bought
more of them.
Butter paddles. Well, I have butter paddles, but Jenny doesn't have any for the cottage, so they're for Cottage.
Yeah.
And Dean gave me these little oil burner smelly things. She gave me that one, and I bought that one. Wait till you see this. Look at this antique
Sticker. Spirit level.
Spirit level. You can see if the bed's going to be level. Isn't that nice? And then this, I have a plan for this. I'm going to put a little match strike at the bottom and put my matches in it. Then you take your match out and strike it. Not good?
Long matches.
Yeah. Longish.
Big handy, wouldn't use fingers.
Big handy, but you just take the match from here and then strike it off the bottom. And
there's a bird box. You want to draw a hole in it?
It's not a bird box, David. It's a candle box. You keep your candles in that. Isn't that a handsome piece? And that's all my treasures.
Hole in it.
Let me get the kettle on, Dave.